Well, I'm back finally after quite a little vacation with the Outboards. But here I got a project I have to do first. And that's clean up my passageway from my bench to my side door of the garage because it's been like this for 23 years. And it's time to fix it or clean it up. Here's halfway done, 45 minutes. And after 3 hours, I'm done here. And I'm looking good. I finally got a breeze coming through the door, and there's my bandsaw. It's going to be coming inside. It's been outside for 4 years. I bought it for $50 in a garage sale. And here's the outside door after it's cleaned. So nice. Convenience. Let the attack begin. So it's been quite a while since I've been on the Outboard YouTube thing. I got a little sidetracked, as some of you know, with my old project from 20 years ago. You could check it on my channel if you're interested in that. But I'm finally back, and after cleaning out the garage, just a pathway, mind you, not the whole garage, it's only a small section. This motor was one of the motors under the pile. It's probably my favorite motors of all time, the 1958 18-horse Evinrude. This motor is, I'm going to evaluate it. It looks like it's a complete rebuild. I did find a cover for it in my shed. I'm going to show you that in a second. And the cylinder head. And then we'll take it from there. This is one of my 10x6 sheds. So as soon as I opened it up the other day, I got some of my covers right here. There's a 5818 cover right here. And then I have another one right here outside of my backyard. So I'm going to grab the two of them and see which is the better of the two. Possibly one came off the motor anyway. Like I said, I put that motor there 20 years ago. So I'm not really sure. And I'm going to hunt for a cylinder head too, and then we'll take it from there. So here's some of my cylinder heads. I keep them outside basically because they're aluminum and they really don't rust, so it's a good place for them. Same with the drive shafts. Believe it or not, there's one right here. But when I flip it over, it's a 10 horse. See the wide the cylinder circles? It's a 10. This is looks like this could be an 18. 15 horsepowers have, back in the 50s, had the 2 1/4 inch bore, or 2 3/8. The 18s had a 2 1/2. 57. This looks like a 2 1/2. It's even got the bracket on it. So I'm going to take these two and without digging any deeper, a couple Johnson heads, but I got plenty of heads, so it's not a problem with that. All right, so I got two to pick from. Let's see which is the better of the two. All right, so after a little more evaluation, both of these cylinder heads are 15-horse cylinder heads. Again, they had a 2 3/8 bore. This is an 18 head gasket. It's a little bigger if you look around where the cylinders are. Not much. So in 1957, they bumped it up to 22 cubic inches with the 2 1/2 inch bore. And I found a already sandblasted 18-horse 57 block with the proper cylinder head. So I might use this head or still look for another. This is why I keep this block as a unit. I do have the motor that I disassembled some years ago. It's a 5718. But anyway, these two heads are no good. So they're going back into the head valley on the side of my garage. Okay. In video mode instead of photo mode. So this is the motor I'm going to start taking apart. I did evaluate it somewhat. The first thing I do, I tell everybody, is to remove the bypass covers. I did the other night in the garage, and this one had salt powder in it. So the whole motor's coming apart. And I start usually from top to bottom, and I'll dissect as much as I can on the stand. Makes it easier, even with the power head bolts, instead of just throwing the power head on a bench and doing it from there. I take all the bolts out I can when it's one unit onto the midsection. But I've done this so many times. I enjoy it. I get sparked every time I get a new one, even though I've done so many of these 58s, the Johnsons too. And this is the motor I did back in the winter. It was the last motor. I did a repair on the tiller. Remember my last video, I believe, January. And I'm gonna finish this motor off, clean the points. It's a runner, just that I had that broken tiller situation. So that's kind of like the next motor, even maybe in between doing this one and that one. This way, two worlds are better than one for content. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is pull starter off, flywheel. Maybe we'll get lucky. There's some new coils or replace coils in there. We'll see. Off with the flywheel. I think you've seen me do this a few times, but it's been a while. I'll be one of the few mechanics that still use air tools. I'm old school. Can't see the coils, the motor sees, so I'll pull the flywheel off and then I'll see if the coils are any good. Maybe get a little bonus. Hope so. As I explained many times in my other videos, try to get at least a ½ inch of threads into the aluminum flywheel in 3 spots and level as you can to the crank. And this way you don't pull out the threads. Now hopefully there's enough up in this compressor to do it. This is my little portable Harbor Freight compressor. No, I got to go fill it up to the top. So let me do that. All right, so I got the compressor topped off. And let's take 2. There she goes. Just a few pounds extra makes it come off. All right, let's see if they got new coils. I'm assuming it's cracked coils, but trying to be a little optimistic here. Look at that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It looks like it's date coded 77. I always 1177, so it could be November 77, but if that's a correct way of identifying, I'm pretty sure that's correct. But probably the last time this motor was ran, maybe in the 80s, and then she got seized up, submerged, or something, whatever happened to it. Okay, so that's good. So now I'm not going to bore you with pulling all the stuff off the power head, but the magneto, carburetor, all that stuff's coming off, and then I'll separate the power head, then I'll show you what's inside. And hopefully we got a crankshaft that's reusable. It's just got to deal with the cylinders and the rings, replacing this, hopefully just the rings, okay? All right, so till later. Just wanted to show you real quick here, as I was going to get the screw out, this side of the points are bashed. Now you saw me pull the flywheel off the normal way, but this whole piece here is bent, and the gap is about 1/8 of an inch on the points. So that's an issue. I don't know what happened there. On this side's not bent. Just wanted to point it out to you before I go any further. It's good to be observant. I also check, whenever you see new coils, that could raise a flag too sometimes, were they put in properly, were the wires inserted properly into the coil itself, is the boss flush with the laminates when it's mounted, so you have the proper air gap, things like that. Just wanted you to see the salt that was in the number 2 cylinder. As I'm moving this motor around, taking it apart, seen this many times. As much as most people would just take this to the scrapyard, I'm going to fix it, because that's what I do. Anyway, number 1's not as bad, but I'm hoping the crankshaft's good. This is really nothing. All this usually means is the salt water got into the cylinder and just similar corrosion, and the salt creates this powdery, grainy mixture of debris. Anyway, I'll keep moving on it. And hopefully, again, I'm concerned. If the crankshaft is good, that's a good thing. If not, we'll change that too. So, okay. Seen worse. Doesn't look good. Seen worse. Just took the intake manifold off. I'm expecting the inside to be the same, but we'll see. Just from my years of experience doing this, you could see all this corrosion and salt and everything on the intakes, reed valves. And then when you get to the crank, you don't see anything. So it's kind of strange how it, where it corrodes worse than in other places. Anyway, to the next clip. So here it is. I got all the bolts out on the front half of the block. Mind you, again, I took most of the bolts out when it was still bolted to the mixed section, except for the bottom 2 and the 2 little pins that you drive out from the back forward, and then when you put them in, the tapered pins go front to back. But once I took that off, this is what was in number 2 cylinder. Almost a whole, this is a cat food container, almost full. And I did lose some outside initially, so probably would have filled it right to the brim. One of the worst I've seen. So I know I'm going to probably have to change a piston, or maybe just a rod, and probably the crank too. I already blew this out. Once I removed all that heavy stuff, it wasn't too bad. And I spent a lot of time on the bottom heating these cap screws, especially this one here. It was a mother bear. I spent probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes just heating it. And then I had to peen it because it was getting loose with the Allen key tool socket. And finally got it out. The other side wasn't as bad, and the top was real easy. So all the water ingestion was on the number 2 cylinder. So now I'm at the point where I'm going to pull the crank out, and then I'll show you once I get the crank out. Now the caps don't come off that easy. You got to be very careful. Get a very fine blade screwdriver and try to work this up, and these will pop off, and keep the bearings in a separate container. Well, they'll be so rusty, you know they came from number 2. The top one don't look bad. Might be reusable. The crank might even be reusable. We'll see once I polish it, and we'll take it from there. That's all you can do. Looks like it's a little blurry in the monitor here. I wonder why. All right, so here we go.